Okay, picture this. It's 6 in the morning. It is pitch black outside, and that awful alarm sound is just blaring. Sound familiar? For millions of teens, this is the brutal daily reality. And it's a reality that, we might think is normal, but it's actually deeply, deeply damaging. So let's get into it. Let's really understand why that school bell might be ringing at the absolute worst time for a teenager's brain. This quote right here, it's from a sleep researcher, someone who lives this conflict every single day. Think about that. She knows all the science, she knows exactly what's happening to her kid's brain, and yet she still has to go in and physically shake her 14-year-old son awake for school. It's this really personal struggle that just shines a massive spotlight on a huge systemic problem. And really, that personal story is the perfect way in, because this isn't just about one tired kid. We're talking about a rude awakening, in the most literal sense of the word, one that affects an entire generation of students and has some pretty serious consequences for their ability to learn and, well, just thrive. So here's the crucial part. This isn't just about them feeling tired. When we force a teenager to wake up hours before their body is ready, we are literally stealing the most critical phase of sleep their brain needs. We're talking about the sleep for memory consolidation, for actual learning, and for being able to regulate their emotions. Okay, so let's zoom out a bit and see how this one daily struggle actually builds into a national crisis. We're not talking about a handful of sleepy kids here. This is a full-blown public health epidemic. And honestly, the numbers are pretty staggering. Just look at these numbers. This is what's so wild. Only 1 in 10 American teenagers gets the recommended 8 to 10 hours of sleep. 1 in 10. That means 90%, the vast majority, are just operating on a sleep deficit, day after day after day. And the main culprit here isn't what you might think. It's not video games or late-night texting. The biggest factor is public policy. It's the simple fact that we have schools starting at 7:30 a.m. or even earlier, which directly contradicts what major medical organizations are telling us. They're all saying middle and high schools should start no earlier than 8:30. This basically sets up a fight against biology that teens just can't win. And that really brings us to the absolute core of the issue. It's this fundamental conflict between a teenager's actual biology and the rigid schedule of the school day. And this isn't about laziness or discipline. It's about developmental science. So here's what's going on inside their bodies. Right around puberty, a teenager's internal clock, their circadian rhythm, goes through this major shift. It's a totally natural biological process that literally delays when they start to feel sleepy and when their body is ready to wake up. And this chart just lays it out perfectly. In adults and younger kids, that sleep hormone, melatonin, starts getting released around 9 p.m., which makes you feel drowsy. But for teenagers, their bodies don't even start releasing melatonin until around 11 p.m. That's a full 2-hour biological delay hardwired into them. And this, right here, this is the line that just puts it all into perspective. Waking a teen at 6 a.m. is the same as waking an adult up at 4 a.m. Seriously, think about that. How do you feel when you have to get up at 4 in the morning? You're a total zombie, right? You can't think straight, you're cranky, you definitely shouldn't be driving. Now imagine feeling like that every single school day. That's what we're asking millions of teenagers to do. This kind of reframes everything, doesn't it? What we so often write off as just being a teenager, the moodiness, the irritability, that perceived laziness, it might not be a character flaw at all. It could very well just be the direct, observable symptoms of chronic sleep deprivation. The consequences of this mismatch go way, way beyond a bad mood. The cost of this widespread sleepiness is incredibly high. We're talking about impacts on everything from their mental health all the way to public safety. In the classroom, you see the effects immediately. A sleep-deprived brain just can't concentrate. Attention spans completely plummet. In fact, some of the behaviors can even look a lot like ADHD. And maybe most importantly, it messes with their reasoning and good judgment, the exact skills they need to navigate their world. And the link to mental health is, well, it's terrifying. One huge study of over 30,000 high school students found a direct line here. For every single hour of sleep they lost, there was a staggering 38% increase in teens reporting feelings of sadness or hopelessness. And it gets even more serious than that. That same study found something truly alarming. Each hour of lost sleep was linked to a 58% increase in teen suicide attempts. Just let that sink in for a second. This is, without a doubt, a life or death issue. And beyond mental health, the physical risks are severe. We're seeing increased chances of obesity, heart disease, and diabetes. Not only that, but sleep-deprived teens are also 55% more likely to have used alcohol in the past month, probably trying to cope with being exhausted but still wired. And this is where it puts everyone at risk. Studies have shown that a teenager driving after 5 hours of sleep or less is just as impaired as an adult driving drunk. Think about that. We are putting sleep-deprived, brand-new drivers on the road with all of us every single morning. Okay, so the problem is crystal clear. The consequences are incredibly severe. But the good news is there is a straightforward, evidence-based solution that has been proven to work. The results from school districts that have actually delayed their start times, they're just undeniable. The teens get more sleep, plain and simple. Their mental and physical health gets better. Academically, they improve, with math and reading scores jumping up. And get this, school absences can drop by as much as 25%. And this right here shows one of the most dramatic results. Remember that danger of drowsy driving we talked about? Well, in one county that shifted to later start times, the car crash rate for teenagers dropped by an incredible 70%. This simple change literally saves lives. So, if the science is this clear and the benefits are so huge, you have to ask yourself, why hasn't every school district in the country made this change already? And look, of course there are logistical hurdles. Things like bus schedules, sports practices, after-school childcare, they all need to be sorted out. But the thing is, districts all across the country have proven these are solvable problems. They are not good enough excuses for failing to do what's right for our kids. The fears are almost always bigger than the reality, and they are completely outweighed by the benefits. So this is really where we land. We have a public health crisis that is affecting the physical health, the mental well-being, and the actual safety of our children. We know the cause, and we have a proven solution. So the real question is, what are we waiting for? Why are we still even debating this?